after playing a few gigs and stuff and getting a few people saying that we were quite good, we thought that it might be time to record some of our songs. It was so expensive for us and we had to work a lot to save up the money for it. After that we just decided, like, let's try and do it ourselves. Self-producing for us, because Callum, our drummer, does it, it's just so much cheaper than hiring studios. It's about getting our music out there, and self-producing has really helped us do that without the large expense.
Well, we were always churning out new songs and we always wanted to get them recorded, but I mean, you'd have to wait a year to get it recorded. So we just thought, why don't we just invest in some gear and try and produce our own music. It sort of helped us to write songs quicker, more on the fact that we just can record a song and move on and not have to worry about making it perfect.
Because there's no time constraints, because like within a recording studio you've got a set number of days to produce these set number of tracks, so you're kind of rushing through it. But because we've got a lot more time, it helps us practice more, helps us get more solid at playing the songs together and playing our own individual bits as well. It makes us a lot tighter, I would say. Recording our own songs, like, we get to hear each other individually a lot more often rather than in practice. When everybody's playing together we get to see, oh well, maybe this bass line isn't working, or maybe this guitar bit like should be tweaked a little bit, so it really helps us like tighten up our live sets.
It can mean less rehearsals, because if we've got the songs recorded, all you really need to do is just listen back to that song and play along yourself. So the more songs we have recorded, the less time you need to invest in rehearsing.
The tracks can get out there a lot faster than they would if we recorded in a studio. We can put them straight up on our Facebook page, which helps people to look, listen, see what kind of music we're into, what kind of music we play.
Now is it the way that you tease me?
I definitely enjoy self-producing a lot more than being in a studio, because the atmosphere is just so much more relaxed.
I think there's more pressure being in a studio environment, because you're actually paying for that time. Whereas when you self-produce, you can just go through it yourself and you can go over it, and every time you get it wrong, it's not taking any money off you, like, it's not costing you anything.
In the studio, it's just a cool vibe you get from a studio. Like, for me personally, to go into a studio and not have to worry about the recording side of things or how it's going to sound in the end, because I just trust that the engineer's going to be doing his best and he'll know what he's doing, so I can focus on the music.
In a studio you've got an engineer looking over your shoulder all the time, like telling you this is what you should be doing, this is where you should be standing. But when we record by ourselves, we speak a lot more freely with each other about what we should do in the recordings, and I just think it produces better songs in the end.
If you've got a better quality material and you're ready for recording, then you'll be more likely to have a better quality from studio produced. But it's just because of equipment, really, rather than being a musicianship. To have a desk about this size, that itself is about 10 grand.
The equipment I use is pretty basic home standard studio level. The microphones I have are a large array of dynamic, condenser and ribbon mics. The interface I use is a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. On the computer I use Reaper as my digital audio workstation, and it's a fairly simple program to use. That's why I use it, because I've never done any formal studying on this, and I just needed something that I could really intuitively use from the get-go. In total it's come about 2 grand, but that's still affordable and compared to spending all the money on studio time.
The equipment that we've got, the equipment that we bought with our own money and stuff, really helps us like get out good songs, and to be honest, I don't think the end result would be that different if we were recording in a studio.
How I wish I never met you, my friend.
If you're a student, you're generally quite skint, especially if you have to work. If you're working, that's more time. That means you can't set days to go into studios where you can meet for an hour one night and track 2 instruments yourself at home.
A studio session, everyone's dedicated to that studio time, so they're in and they're recording their parts, and then at the end of the studio time we get a finished product, or maybe a few weeks later after they've mixed it a bit more, we'll get a finished product, but we only get a limited amount of songs from that. Being a full-time student, you don't have a lot of free time all the time, so once you have that free time you can always just record a song.
You can record it to your own deadlines, you can release it whenever you want, you can finish it wherever you want.
Without self-producing, we probably wouldn't be a band anymore.
I think first priority for us just now is getting as many gigs as possible, because that's how you promote yourself. You just play as many venues as possible and as many nights as you can, get your music out there, promote your Facebook page. But aside from that, yeah, we're still waiting for that phone call from EMI.